Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lesson 9, How to Start a Voiceover Business. This week, I want you to start budgeting and getting those funds together to buy your vocal booth and equipment. Because in the next few months, we're going to be launching you into the voice acting world. Be sure to keep your vocal booth blueprint where you can find it easily come July, because that's when we will actually be building it. Your equipment will come first, so keep on thinking of ways to build the booth and which booth type would be more practical for you so you will be ready come July. And remember to keep on practicing those voices for those genres so that you can keep on getting better at them. And keep on taking voice acting classes as well. Don't go slacking on the daily voiceover practice just because we're getting into more in-depth details, okay? Today, we are loosely going to cover how to start a voiceover business. I've been going through a lot of videos and books on how to be able to start a business lately, and my goodness, the amount of information seems to be endless. So I'm going to boil it down to its base points to get you an idea of what you're looking at if you want to do voiceover as a career next year. So to start off, voice acting isn't a career where someone is waiting to discover you. I've heard it countless times before from many different voice actors that ego will kill your career faster than disco. No one is above you, no one is below you, and no, they aren't looking to find the next Elvis Presley or Michael Jackson. They just want someone who can read a script and perform the part. If you get a good one, that's awesome. If not, that's life. It's going to be up to you to decide who and what you want to audition for. So if you have an attitude of, everyone should love me, or I'm better than this person, or everyone should just know how talented I am, quit it. There's no bigger turnoff than self-grandirizing, and it makes you look like a jerk. Change your mindset if that's you. All the people around you will have done the same work or more to get where you are. So you are not automatically better than everyone just because you have a unique voice. Everyone has a unique voice. That's why they're voice actors, and the ones that are good know how to use it wisely. And if you do have this mindset, then chances are you are greatly underestimating them, and you will become your own worst enemy in the industry. So, break that habit. Do it now so that way it doesn't bite you in the butt later. Okay, now that that's out of the way, on to business. And yes, that pun was completely intended. As a voice actor starting your own business, you will be faced with a lot of challenges. First and foremost, how to get clients. Surprise, surprise, most of it is done by cold emails, which means you have to research the job and then type up an email and ask for a job, and hopefully they'll get back to you. Sometimes they won't, and that's just the nature of the beast. Just keep in mind that a lot of these companies and clients get emails frequently like this, so you want to make yours, again, unique, and make it personable to the client. You got to think about what the client wants to hear and what it is that you're trying to solve for them. They have a problem, and it's up to you to try to figure out how to solve it. If you can do that, then you'll do pretty good. At least from what I understand. Knowing this, you'll have to decide whether you want to use your real name or a stage name. And believe it or not, it's actually quite simple. You just start going by an alias. You can register it with your local government if you wish to, and at some point you may have to in order to make sure your taxes are adjusted correctly. But most companies and clients are used to this, and so they will understand what a stage name is. It's basically a fake name or an alter ego or another name that you can put in front of fan bases and things like that. That way they can't hunt you down to find you. Yes, you fans know who you are. And yes, this is why we have to do this. Thanks. Anywho, you'll need to know whether or not you want to use your stage name or your real name, and you'll want to target the types of genres your voice is strong at. You'll want to have your portfolio prepared beforehand so that you can have references to go off of and give out if needed. Do you need a portfolio? No. But it's nice to have something and ready to show a client if they ask for it. So a portfolio isn't the be-all or end-all. It's more like a fun little piece of paper you can frame and pin on your wall to show off to others when they walk into your proverbial room. Next, you'll have to figure out whether or not you want your business to be a social media platform or a professional one. You can go from professional to indie, but it's much more difficult to go from indie to professional. It just depends on the type of clout and the reputation that follows you. Many companies tend to avoid certain affiliations depending on what types of things you're getting into and what you're affiliated with. That, and from what I've heard, professional companies see voice actors in certain ranges or tiers. If you don't fit on the level of professionality that they are looking for, you can either be ignored or blacklisted. So keep that in mind if all you want to do is indie work. It's on a lower tier of voiceover. If you decide to go the indie route, you will need to know how to social engineer and market yourself on social media platforms and stay constant on your posts to build a fan base. You will also be applying to platforms that pay a lot less for vocal work, such as Fiverr or Upwork, or even Casting Call Club. Anywhere from $5 for a gig to less than $300, or even free. In fact, most of the stuff I've done is mostly free. Ugh. That comes out to about a 200% to 3,000% less pay than pro work. And yes, that deduction is per hour or per session, meaning that loss can multiply depending on how much work you want to do for free or less. I will give you the official voice acting website for voice acting pay rate guides for indie and professional work, so you can decide what you want to be paid in the description below. The pros and cons to this are contracts and NDAs. NDAs are contractual promises to never talk about the project without permission, and sometimes these have an expiration date, often upon debut of a project, but some can last for decades, and you don't want to break those, otherwise you'll be in violation of your contract. In indie work, everything is arbitrary, meaning you will be held to certain expectations based upon the whim of the director at any given time. The good thing about contracts and NDAs is that it keeps both sides honest, forcing them to adhere strictly to what is in the contract. In the professional line of work, this is important because you don't want a company screwing you over, and they don't want to be screwed by you either. It keeps everything on a fair playing field, and everybody knows the rules of the game. Not so much for indie projects, especially on Casting Call Club. Many of these projects get together on Discord, and the amount of drama that happens in these indie chat rooms is mind-blowing at times. People will suddenly hate on each other for the most trivial of things, and directors will expect you to dedicate your entire life to their projects sometimes, and for free. There's very high turnover rates in these indie projects because of the amount of miscommunication, drama, lack of structure, and deadlines. So you may be gambling as to whether the project even happens or not, meaning you may or may not get paid. A contract forces a company to pay you, whereas an indie developer may scam you out of work. I recommend finding indie projects with contracts. It all depends on what type of a community you are looking for. A less professional, more party type of an atmosphere, or one with pay and professionalism. Keep in mind that there are professional-seeming companies out there that want to scam voice actors, and they do so on a regular basis. Be sure to look into the voice acting communities like VAC on Discord in order to stay up to date on the common scams that are prevalent currently. You do not want to sign up with a company that holds the rights to your voice indefinitely, or one that allows AI training by recording your voice, or even a company that has a non-compete clause for an indefinite amount of time. Why? If a company holds the rights to your voice indefinitely, they can just copy your voice and apply it to other games and products they own without having to pay you for all those sequels. One that allows AI training does the same thing. They just own an AI that copies your voice, and now they use the AI instead of paying you now. And a non-compete clause is crucial because if you work for Coke and one day you don't like them and you want to work for Pepsi, well, your contract may say that you are not allowed to go and work for Pepsi, and you can get sued if you do. So you don't want to break those contracts. Speaking of being sued, when you run your business as a voice actor, you are going to be your own legal safety for most of it. And what do I mean by this? Well, sometimes it's expensive to keep a lawyer on hand, so you will have to know the law. You don't need a degree in law, but you'll at least want to be generally familiar with local and national laws, and maybe even international, depending on where your work is. Whether or not you are an indie voice actor or a professional actor, you will need to know this. And I don't mean spouting what you heard a friend say about a law. I mean actually looking into the laws, reading them, and taking some law classes so you can understand what it is they actually say and when they apply. I have a great one for contract law if you would like a free class. You can even earn a certificate in it from Harvard. And it's online to boot, so you don't even have to go to the class. Just go to the EDX link in the description below and take it for free. But I digress. For example, in audiobooks, you may have to notify the author as to whether it is legal to refer to a business or entity inside of their book. For instance, if Disney is mentioned inside of this particular book, Disney is known for suing smaller companies and entities to protect their brand image. They have some of the best lawyers in the world, and they do not hesitate to crush even the smallest of businesses that even hint at their image. It will be your job to let the author know if you cannot do that type of work, or if they need to edit their book to remain copyright compliant. You cannot sing a popular song in a book if they do not have the permissions or the rights to the song to do so. And yes, this goes for fan dubs as well. That is also copyrighted work. And in the voice acting industry, they do not like voice actors that participate in fan dubs. So I would recommend not getting involved in it if you are going into the professional line of voice acting work. Or just delete that account. Lawsuits do happen, and you do not want to open yourself up to the risk of being sued, especially if you do not have money or a lawyer that can defend you. Companies keep an eye on these things, and they do not want an actor involved in lawsuits and risky business. On to the next topic, payment. You will need a way to invoice your clients so that way you can pay your taxes. PayPal is a great way of doing this as it has an invoice option built into its system that takes care of the invoice process. You just have to print it off, screenshot it, and keep records of it as you do gigs with clients throughout the year. You will also want to keep a record on a spreadsheet to keep track of how much money you earn and from each client throughout the year. You may want to put on there the date, the amount of pay, and what kind of work it was and for how long. You may even decide to organize it further. You will not need a CRM. Unless you have difficulty keeping track of your clients, then you can do that. But you will still want a professional-looking website so that you can convey what type of voice actor you are and send people to that site through links. You will want professional photo shoots of yourself and maybe your booth if you want to be taken seriously, as well as having a professional demo reel, and put them on your landing page or the homepage of your website. Make sure you use a company that makes websites like WordPress so that your website has built-in security frameworks to prevent hackers from destroying your website. Usually, there's a $10 subscription for these services, but it's annual and worth the security and customer support that can fix it if something goes wrong. You will also want to learn what an SEO is, a search engine optimizer, and research how Google sorts your web page and puts it in search results for people to find. It consists of using keywords, looking legitimate, and providing authentic reviews and services for customers that Google can recognize. I have links in my playlist page for Voiceover Business if you want their tutorials. Speaking of playlists, be sure to bookmark this video for later so that you can return to it when you want to start your voiceover business. Your homework for this week is to think about how you would run your business and what kind of a voice actor you want to be. Look into what it takes to do a voiceover business as well if you have extra time. So, with such little pay, would you rather do indie work or would you prefer professional pay? Let me know in the comments section as to why you would pick that work and what motivates you to do voice acting. I'm Tatigami, and I will see you in the next lesson.